Hi, welcome to Peace Donkeys. Today I'm going to show you how to make this braided halter. This is a nice decorative halter, but it's really only suitable for leading or for maybe for riding, but it's definitely not suitable for tying up any animals. So I'll go ahead and show you how I made this halter, and hopefully you'll enjoy it too. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Okay, so first off, you'll get a headstall or a halter that fits your animal already, so that you can measure your new one against that. Okay, so around about the halfway point of your cords, you're going to just tie that up. Might need to do it twice because it tends to slide off if you're not careful. So just tie up your cords just for a minute, otherwise your plait will come undone. As you're going down, it'll come undone here if you don't tie that up. So you're going to just do an ordinary plait where you put right strand over the centre, left strand over the centre, right strand over the centre, left strand over the centre, and just keep going with a plait like that just for a few inches, because you're actually making this loop here first. So you tie off loop, left over the centre, right, so just do a few inches, enough to make your loop so that you can tie your pole strap through the middle of it. Now you just have to detangle as you go, because you've got a lot of cord. You're going to have to do a lot of detangling. Don't need to detangle again. So if you just pull one strand out, that's usually enough. Don't have to detangle all three strands. Now I'm just going to check that against my loop. Okay, I'm happy that that's big enough for my loop. Okay, so once you've done that braid as long as you want it to be, we're just going to join these together just for a little bit, just so that they act like a knot here to keep the strands together. Okay, so the right two strands will go over the centre two. Left two over the centre. Oops. Right two over the centre. Left two over the centre. Right two over the centre. Okay, maybe just one more. Okay, so that kind of acts like the knot for that loop. Okay. And then what you'll do now is you'll take three strands, and these three strands you'll braid down to that noseband knot there. So you might just want to tie up one side to stop that coming undone while you braid the other side. Okay, so left strand over the centre, right strand over the centre, left strand over the centre, right strand, Okay. So you just keep going with that until you reach the length you need, until you get to your noseband knot, and then you'll stop. Okay, so I've done my braid for my loop down to my noseband, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie that off while I do the other section. So I'll just take a piece of cord off there and tie it onto here. So then we'll braid these three strands from here all the way down to the loop, and we'll make a loop. So again, we'll just braid that right over the center, left over the center, right, left, right. Okay. So pretty much we'll braid all the way down from the loop, or from there down to there, make the loop, and I'll show you what to do once we get there. Okay, so now I've braided from here all the way down to the loop. This is going to make the loop. And then we'll feed these strands back through the braid, and then once we feed those through out the other side and they're all joined together, then we'll start braiding this lower section up to the noseband. So I'm just going to melt the end. And just attach a fid to that, just to make it a little bit easier to get it through. Okay, so I want my loop to be about that long, so I'll feed through there. And just bring that strand through to the other side. Oops. And then I might just bring the other one around, and I'll bring that through over to this side and just start braiding again. Okay, so this is where I am. I've just put that strand through there, basically where that knot is on the other halter, and now I'm going to braid this strand here that leads into the noseband. So that'll just be just a normal 3-strand plait to there. Okay. Just like we did before. Okay, so that's going to be your loop that you put your lead rope onto. So just as you go along, just keep checking the measurements, how far you've got to go. So I've still got a little bit to go till I get up to the noseband. Okay, so now that I've done the tie-off loop and the loop that's down under the horse's chin where you're going to clip your lead rope onto, I've braided this strand that matches this one, and this is the other strand that we tied off. So these two are going to join back together and braid the noseband. Okay, so we'll untie that piece of rope we had, and you'll find the best way that you can to match up the cords. Okay. So pretty much you're just going to join them back again. So these two will go over the centre two. Left side goes over the centre two. Right side comes over the centre. Okay. Left side comes over the centre. Right side over the centre. Left side. Right side. And again, you'll keep going for as long as you want your noseband to be. Okay, so this is your noseband. Okay, so I've done my noseband along to there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these strands again, and now I'm going to braid down, back down to here, back down to make the second loop. So you'll tie off your other three strands that you're not going to be braiding for now, again just to stop them from coming undone. Okay. And then you'll braid, like I said, you'll braid these three strands back down to here, which will be your second loop. Okay, so I've braided through. Okay, so just so you're clear, that's the noseband that we've just done. And now I've braided along the matching side to make the bottom loop. And then we'll bring these strands through there and through there so that our two loops under the chin are joined together. Okay, so I'm going to join one of these strands using a fid again. Okay, so I want to make sure that I've got these strands here. Nice and even, so that's the midway point of the noseband. That's where we stopped braiding that side, and this is where we started braiding down here towards the loop. So I want to make sure I've got my loops around about the same size. Okay, so I'll bring my strand through there. Just hold on to those for a minute. Bring one strand through. Okay. Actually, what I should have done, put that back on again. I'll bring that also through the other loop here. Doesn't really matter whereabouts, that'll probably do. So they're joined together. Okay, just bring that back a bit. Okay, just make sure I know which strand's which. And then I might bring this strand also through there. So as long as you get the general idea that we're going to join those two loops together, and we'll come out the other side. So I'll just find the end of that and join that through. Okay. So we'll tighten up all those three strands so that we've got our loops sorted. All right. Now we'll start on to the next section. Okay, so what we're doing now is we've got our loops under the chin, and then we've brought that through, which is the same part as where that knot is. So now we're doing the second rope. So this is one part, and now we're doing the second one. Just like here, there's two pieces of rope until we get to that knot. So we're going to make this strand, this little plait here, the same length as that section from that knot to that knot. So we'll go ahead and plait that. So whatever the length is between your feodor knot and your under your jaw knot, that's how long that is going to be. So now these strands will come through here and out to the other side, and then we'll start to do the other straps. Okay, so I'm going to put one strand right through here, through to the other side. Okay, so that's one strand through. I'll take that off, put another strand through. So just attach my fid to another strand. I'll just go through there. Okay, so that strand is pulled through. Okay, so there, and you probably don't need to bring the other one through. You can just start braiding again. Braiding now with these three strands is the equivalent of this side. Okay, so we've got one on that side, now we need one on this side, the same length as that. I'll just move that a bit it so you can see. So that's what we're going to do now, is this strand here. So pretty much you'll braid along for the same distance. Okay, so I've finished that part there, which is the same length as this strap. Okay, so there's your noseband there. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to take the little piece of cord I had off my noseband, and I'm going to tie that off, and then we're going to braid this top part of the noseband until it gets long enough to reach up to here. So I'll just take that off. And hold that in place. Okay, so hopefully that's starting to look like it makes sense. So that's your cheek piece on the left side. These are the jaw straps under the jaw that come up from the middle. That's your noseband, of course. That's under your chin. And so now we've got these 3 strands here, so that we're going to braid till we get to the same length up to here, and then we'll join all these together to make the strap that goes behind your horse's ears. So just this last little section now. Okay, right over the centre, left over the centre, right over the centre, left over the centre, right, left, right, left. We'll just keep braiding that. Okay, so we're almost at the end. So we've just finished this strand here, which is the equivalent of that strand there. And now we're going to untie this part and we'll join these together. So we'll take that piece of string off there, and then we'll start braiding these together. So we'll have 2 and 2 and 2. Okay, so the right strands go across the middle, left strands across the middle, right strands across the middle, left strands, right strands, and so you'll do that for as long as your strap is that you've got that goes behind your horse's ears, usually around about 30 something inches. Okay, so that's my pole strap that goes behind the horse's ears, and then that will go through there to tie off. So now that I've got as far as I want to go, I'm really just going to end that with a simple knot. Okay, so I'll just bring all that rope through. And tie that off. Okay, and then you can just make sure you tighten up each one of those strands. You could do it like if you really want to do a nice decorative knot, you could do that, or you can just tie it like that. And you can just make those a little bit long if you want, or you can cut them off short. It's really personal preference what you want to do. I've got quite a bit left over, so that amount of strands probably would have done for a full size halter as well. So then that will come through your loop, your tie-off loop, and you'll just tie a knot like you would normally on a rope halter. And that's your halter finished.